So we're starting a new series. I'm going to plunge in. I have a 50-minute sermon, but I got 20 minutes. Okay, here we go. So, we're with a new series called Making Life Work. How many want their life to work?
Amen.
Who doesn't want their life to work? I mean, come on, that'd be the other way of putting it. Making life work. It's practical wisdom from the book of Proverbs. Here's what I found, church. Most of us today have no lack of information. Somebody interact with me on that. Is that right? I mean, there's no lack of data. All you got to do is take your phone and hit Google, and there's like more information than 100 encyclopedias. Bang, right there, right, church? In fact, information just kind of rolls over us all day long. If you're all connected to internet or social media or any of these things, information isn't the problem that most of us have. I'm going to make a statement now to get us, this is introductory. The problem for most of us isn't information, it's how to use the information we have. It's called wisdom. Practical wisdom. How do we make life work? How do we navigate through the day? How do we make decisions? And I see, as a pastor, a guy who tries to be really involved in the town, and I spend time with business leaders and people here in town, I got to tell you, I see people every day who are living their life with lots of information but very little wisdom.
Yeah.
Every day I see it. I see people making decisions and choices that I just have to kind of step back and say, really? That's what you're going to do? You know? And I was thinking as I wrote my notes down, it's kind of like a children's story. How many remember the story of the three little pigs? The balcony, you don't remember? Yeah, you do. The three little pigs. Remember how that worked? Just kind of we're introducing this idea. With the three little pigs, you had, and I don't know why they chose pigs exactly, but they had three little pigs who set out from their home and decided that they were going to make their life. And so remember how this works? The first little pig, he gets out there and wants to build his home. And he's in a hurry, and so he builds this home out of something that's cheap and easy. He builds it out of straw. Cheap, easy, quick house, goes up real quickly, and he's thinking, what could happen? So puts up a house made of straw. The second pig, he goes out to build his home, and he wants something stylish, hipster, something really cool. So he builds his house out of sticks. Remember this? And this isn't the cheapest, but it's not necessarily really good either. And he builds his house out of sticks, and he's thinking, look, my house is done, just like my neighbor over here with the straw house. What could happen? What could go wrong? So he's got his house made of sticks. Then they've got the third little pig, and this is the one who decides he's going to build his straw out of what?
He's coming.
Stones. We heard different stories. Out of stones. And of course the stones are heavy. And he's got to dig them out, he's got to cart them to the building site, and he's got to set them and mortar them. And it's hard work. And he looks over there across the street, and there's his little piggy friend with a straw house. It's done. He's in there watching the Seahawks and having a ball. And the other friend over there in the hipster house, he's got this stick house. And he looks through the window, and he's enjoying a meal. And he's out there sweating, working, trying to build this house out of stone. Well, of course, eventually they each have their home built. And as the story goes, remember the bad guy comes along, personified as the big bad wolf. And the wolf comes along, and the big bad wolf in this story kind of stands for life, and what happens in life, and how life can happen quickly and unexpectedly. Is that right? As we just heard from Aldina, you just don't know what's going to happen sometimes. So along comes this big bad wolf, and of course he comes up to the straw house. Remember, he huffs and he puffs, and he what? Blows the house down and eats the pig. He has a pepperoni pizza there or whatever. Okay? So he eats the little pig. So much for building it cheap and easy and quick, right? Whoever told him, build your house out of straw, should get lawsuit at that point, okay? Then he comes to the next house, and it's made of sticks, and he huffs and he puffs, and he blows the house down, right? And he eats the little pig, and the little pig, less pig in the world. And again, somebody told this pig, build your house out of the cool, hip stuff, and it didn't hold up, and life happened. And then the third one, he comes up there, and he blows, and he can't blow it down, right? Because it's made out of stone. And here's the little lesson to that story that we're going to get from Proverbs over the next several weeks. And this will be a series over several weeks. Is that life happens. And you got to have wisdom to navigate it. None of us want to be like the little pig building his house out of straw, or like the little one out of sticks. And when life happens, and it all just comes crumbling down. Because we didn't have the wisdom to know how to navigate, how to build, how to make our life work. Are you following my illustration, church? Okay? Now, for a text, it's interesting that Jesus actually taught something very similar to this. In Luke chapter 6, Jesus taught something very similar. Luke chapter 6, starting with verse 46. Jesus said, "Why do you call me Lord, Lord, and you do not do the things which I say? Whoever comes to me and hears my sayings and does them, I will show you whom he is like. He's like a man building a house, who dug deep and laid the foundation on the rock. And when the flood arose, the stream beat vehemently against that house and could not shake it, for it was founded on the rock. But he who heard and did nothing is like a man who built a house on the earth without a foundation, against which the stream beat vehemently, and immediately it fell. And the ruin of that house was great." That's almost like the three little pigs, isn't it? It's remarkably close to that story. And so really what we're talking about in this series is how do we build our lives so that it'll work? Where do we go to get the wisdom? Where do we go to get a template, like like in our computer we talk about a template that we can build around and through and model, so that when the storms of life rise up, and can I give you a word of wisdom? They will. They will. Our houses, our lives can stand. But how do we know? With all the choices out there, all the different ways, how do we know? I brought a little game. How many of you remember the game of life?
Oh, yeah.
Anybody else play that game other than me? Okay. And this game, of course, this is a really old version. I don't know when we got this one. But if you recall how this game works, you have a game board here, like most of these have. And how it works, of course, is you start at the beginning here, and then you try to navigate your way through life in such a way that at the end of the game, you have the most money, the most stuff, and you win, right? And, it's interesting because I was thinking how this kind of is a model for the situation that many of us find ourselves in life. And actually, it's kind of a cute little illustration of life, because it's all about, first of all, it's about choices that we have to make. Remember how this game begins? Whoops, there went my choice of the spinner. Remember how this game begins is you have to choose whether or not you're going to go to college or go to work. Remember, that's the first thing you have to do. You have to make a choice. If you're going to go the shortcut, straight to work, start making some money, get a little bit ahead, or if you're going to go to college, it's a longer way around the board. Here you come, here's start college, and here's start a career, and you're going to navigate through that, right? And life is full of choices, isn't it? What was the last choice that you had to make? Well, it might have been if you're going to be here this morning. Right? It could have been as simple as that. It could have been whether or not, you're going to bolt out of this room when my guitar was acting up funny. It's choices are part of life. But how do we make choices, right? How do you know what's the right thing to do when we're covered every day with just this avalanche of data and information? And everybody seems to think to know what's best for us. The other thing this game talks about is how the unexpected things in life can happen. And I was thinking about this little spinner here. You spin it, that tells you how life goes, and you just never know what number is going to come up. Well, you start your days, and sometimes it feels like, wow, that was a bad number. Everybody had a day like that? It's like, how do I get stuck with that today? Unexpected things you can't always anticipate. And how do you deal with them? What do you do? Just the other day we had a gal here in our daycare whose car didn't start in the morning. and she didn't know what to do. You know, it's kind of like, what do I do? You know, and she finally ended up taking it to a dealer, and of course the dealer just charged her a fortune and everything. And you feel like, boy, you know, if you could have just chosen something a little different, we could have saved you probably $300-400. Just a little wisdom from somebody in the church. The choices every day come up, right? Unexpected things happen every day. And then life is full of good things and bad things. Have you noticed that? Good things, bad things. Sometimes life brings something beautiful along your way. Like with Bill and Susan getting this beautiful home up in Gold Bar. A little bit unexpected, but a tremendous thing. Susan has wanted a home with acres for her animals, like, forever. And now they get it. That's a good thing, right, church?
Yeah.
Right. And then sometimes bad things happen, too. And that's on this game, you have these cards you have to pull. Pull out the card, you look at the card, you don't know what's going to happen. It's kind of like sometimes life feels like, what am I going to get when I turn over the card today? You know? But then there's one other thing, too, about the game of life that we have to have some wisdom to navigate, is we're not the only one playing the game. Right? I mean, there's other folks out there on the game board with us. And sometimes their choices impact our choices. Sometimes we don't even get a choice. You're driving over that trestle. You know, this last week I went over the trestle 3 times. There were 3 accidents. Every time I went over the trestle, there was an accident. On the other side, luckily. God was on my side. But you go down that road, somebody crosses the middle line, hits you. You didn't have any choice in that, right? That just happened. There are other folks on the game board playing their game too. On the job, you know, you don't always get that promotion because there's somebody else who's working hard too and they want it too. Yeah. So it's interesting how life can kind of be like the game of life. And what we're trying to do, of course, is figure out how to make the right choices, how to move forward with life. And again, in the way of an introduction, can I say this? We've got to be so careful of who we listen to give us counsel and advice.
That's right.
Because there are a lot of folks out there who would love to tell you what to do, but they have their own agenda. Right, guys? Do we know that?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I heard a guy say that the other day. Well, it's on the internet.
Yeah.
You know, like again, anything you read on the internet's got to be true, right? And we've all learned that, right? That it's not necessarily true. And you know, some of the people that people turn to, just to be humorous for our last 5 minutes here, are people that we shouldn't probably be listening to, but they still get people's ears for reasons I haven't got a clue. Here's some advice from celebrities. And you know, a lot of folks really do take life advice from celebrities. I'm baffled by that myself, but they do. For example, first, Jean-Claude Van Damme. Here, oh, that's me. That's what I look like. But Jean-Claude Van Damme came out the other day and said, here's how you get to look like that. You know what he said? You got to eat horse and falcon meat once a week, but only their hearts and their eyes. And you'll look like that.
No thanks.
How many believe that's the truth? Boy, I don't know. Look at that. Maybe he knows what he's talking about. No. Another one. Here's one. You know, we've talked about these guys before. Again, on a kind of humorous note. Khloe Kardashian.
Oh, Lord.
What is this deal with the Kardashians, right? I don't get it.
I don't either.
But Khloe Kardashian has this thing known as a waist trainer. There's a picture of her wearing a waist trainer. The idea is you put this waist trainer around your middle and tighten it down as tight as you can, and you'll lose weight and train your stomach to be little. What do you think?
That's sick.
What does that look like? A corset. You know, they quit making corsets a long time ago. And you know why? Because they squeeze your internal organs and push them all over the place, and they're dangerous.
Yep.
You know? And not only that, they make women pass out.
Brother.
Can you imagine taking... How many of you guys want your waist to be this big? I mean... But that's Khloe Kardashian's advice. And you know, not only is that ridiculous, right? And she sells those, by the way. $29.99 each, or 2 for $50, or 3 for $60, or whatever the deal is. Not only does she sell them, but I think it's dangerous. Because we have so many young people, especially young women, who are trying to figure out how they're supposed to look, you know? And you look at Khloe, I guess she's some kind of role model, but I would tell you not. And she said, this is what you do to look good. I don't think so. You know, how about this one? Another person who's some kind of a celebrity, that people actually take life advice. They plan the game of life over this. Somebody named Snooki.
Oh, Lord.
Show me Snooki.
Oh.
That's her there in the picture. And Snooki has got this idea that the way to look like a movie star is to put kitty litter all over your face. She's selling a kitty litter facial. That's what that cat thing is there too. That's the right. That's kitty litter. See, world's best cat litter, and her face on there. And the idea is you take this cat litter and you rub it all over your face, and you'll look like Snooki. Wow, right? How dumb is that? Because guess what? Kitty litter is, in fact, if you read the bag of your kitty litter at home, it'll tell you, do not inhale. Because it's poisonous. And now you're going to rub it all over your face and try to look like Snooki. Well, I tell you what, I don't think we need to do that. Amen?
Amen.
But people play the game of life for real with this kind of advice. There's a couple more quickies. Victoria Beckham. Guess what? She says the way to get a beautiful face is to rub bird poop on your face. Yeah, I know, it's not ridiculous. And there's a picture of the bird there, because it's not just any bird. I mean, you can't go straight to the bird droppings off your Jeep and put, no. It's got to be nightingale poop. And it's nightingale poop coming from the Japanese island of Kyushu. Now, I got to tell you, not only is that just ridiculous to even think about, it's dangerous, because bird excrement is full of all kinds of germs and nasty crud. Yeah, and you're going to rub that on your face. I'm tempted to say, what kind of dumb do you have to be? But that would be unkind, so I wouldn't say that. But I'm saying, why would we take life advice from this woman? Beyonce. Beyonce is a role model for a lot of young women. She's done many things really well in life, right? But she's also decided that she's something of an expert in health, and she has got now the Master Cleanse. And this is what Beyonce is telling young women to do if you want to look like her, dance like her, have her kind of looks. Is you want to do a cleanse with this: cayenne pepper, water, and maple syrup for 30 days, eating nothing else.
No.
30 days, eating nothing else but cayenne pepper, water, and syrup. Well, I can tell you, if you did that, yeah, you'd probably lose weight.
You'd probably pass out too.
But you'd probably be sick as could be as well, right? Yeah. Why would somebody choose to do something as important as how we treat our body, getting advice from Beyonce? Right, church?
Amen.
Last one. Demi Moore.
Oh, goodness.
Demi Moore came out saying that the way to have a lovely toned face, the way to not have to have a facelift, is to do leech therapy.
Ew.
That's what they're showing there. The idea is you put leeches all over your back and your body, they suck the blood out of you, and it makes your chin look all nice and toned. What do you think, church?
No.
Wow. The point being this: who are you listening to? Who are the people who are telling you how to navigate your life, how to make your life work, how to navigate the game of life successfully? And there's no shortage of people trying to tell you how to do it, and most of them are semi-crazy. Amen, church?
Amen.
Here's what we're going to do. We are going to walk through the book of Proverbs together. Old Testament book of Proverbs. Now, the book of Proverbs, I got to quit, so we'll have to just go from here. But the book of Proverbs has 31 chapters in it. If you've got one here, you can just kind of quickly look at that. And here's your homework, starting today. Your homework is to read one chapter of Proverbs every day. The chapter that corresponds with the day of the month. So what day is today? 7th. So today you're going to read Proverbs chapter 7. They're short. You can easily do this. And then tomorrow you're going to read Proverbs chapter 8, and then 9 the day after. And by the time we're through this series, you'll have gotten through the book of Proverbs maybe even more than once and gotten this kind of wisdom. So we're going to stop here, but I just want to invite you to come on board with me for the next series of weeks into God's school of wisdom. I'm going to invite you to turn off these other voices that want to tell you how to live and listen to the voice of Jesus Christ when he says, let's build our lives upon solid ground. Who would say, Pastor, that's for me. I want to build my life on the solid ground.
Amen.
Yeah. And listen, let's, voices like Demi Moore and Snooki and Jean-Claude Van Damme and those guys, my counsel for you on those is just reach over there and click them off.
Yep.
Right? Because we want God's eternal truth, not this kind of stuff, right?
Not the poop truth.
Okay. Why don't you stand to your feet because our time is up.